Yo, what's up my YouTube nation? It's Legendary Justin. And today we're going to be doing another video of Talk Show with Legendary Justin. So the article today we're doing is from the New York Times. Senate confirms Scott Pruitt as the EPA head, which is the Environmental Protection Agency. So here we go. Also, let me know if you guys have been enjoying my videos. If you guys want me to tweak anything, let me know in the comments and I will try to do my best to fix it. But I think the video quality has been improved because now we're using our 4K TV to record the videos. So when you watch in 1080p, you're definitely going to be able to tell the difference. The Senate confirmed Scott Pruitt on Friday to run the EPA, putting a seasoned legal opponent of the agency at the helm of President Trump's efforts to dismantle major regulations on climate change and clean water, and to cut the size and authority of the government's environmental enforcer. Senators voted 52 to 46 to confirm Mr. Pruitt, the Oklahoma Attorney General who has built a career out of suing to block the EPA's major environmental rules, and has called for the dissolution of much of the agency's authority. One Republican, Suzanne Collins of Maine, crossed party lines to vote against Mr. Pruitt, while two Democrats, Joe Manchin III of West Virginia and Heidi Heitkamp of North Dakota, both from coal-rich states where voters generally oppose environmental rules, voted for him. So basically what they're saying is that, they're basically saying that two Democrats voted for him and then one Republican voted against him. Democrats railed all night on the Senate floor against Mr. Pruitt and urged Senator Mitch McConnell of Kentucky, the majority leader, to delay the confirmation until after next Tuesday, when the Oklahoma Attorney General's office is under order to release about 3,000 of Mr. Pruitt's emails related to his communications with the fossil fuel industry. But the effort did little but deprive Democrats of sleep. Democrats, environmental groups, and even current EPA employees have harshly criticized Mr. Pruitt's record of fighting the mission of the agency. He will now lead, as well as his close ties with the fossil fuel industry, he will now regulate. Both opponents and supporters of Mr. Pruitt say that he is well positioned to carry out Mr. Trump's campaign trail promises to dismantle the agency and slash its ranks from its employees. Mr. Trump vowed to get rid of the agency in almost every form. So this is how they voted. House senators voted for Scott Pruitt. 52 said yes, 46 said no, 2 did not vote. You only need 51 votes to ensure the confirmation, and he got 52. A 2014 investigation by the Times found that energy lobbyists drafted letters for Mr. Pruitt to send on state stationery to the EPA outlining the economic hardship of the environmental rules. Many of the coal, oil, and gas companies represented by these lobbyists were also some of his largest campaign contributors. Mr. Pruitt also worked jointly with those companies in filing multiple lawsuits against major EPA regulations. Democrats say the emails are to be released on Tuesday. They could reveal more, and possibly disqualifying information about those relationships. I reminded my colleagues that the reason of these documents could be imminent, and that we would be wise to wait on Mr. Pruitt's nomination until we had the opportunity to review them. And shame on us if we didn't, said Senator Thomas R. Carper of Delaware, the ranking Democrat of the Environment and Public Works Committee. Mr. Pruitt has been nominated by a man who, as a nominee, as a president-elect, and now as president, has made clear his goals to degrade and destroy the EPA, Mr. Carter said. Like many things President Trump says, we ask ourselves, did he mean it? With the nomination of Mr. Pruitt, it's clear he did. For many Republicans, that appears to be part of Mr. Pruitt's appeal. During the Obama administration, Mr. McConnell became a leading opponent of the president's climate change agenda, particularly its centerpiece, a set of EPA regulations intended to shut down heavily polluting coal-fired power plants and replace them with wind and solar power. Those rules, if enacted, could disproportionately hurt the economy of Mr. McConnell's coal-rich state. Mr. Pruitt, who has expressed skepticism about human-caused global warming, has been a key architect of the legal battle to overturn the rules. Pruitt is just the candidate we need at the helm of the EPA, Mr. McConnell said. He's exceptionally qualified, he's dedicated to environmental protection, and as someone with state government experience, he understands the real-world consequences of EPA actions and knows that balance is the key to making policies that are sustainable over the long term. Mr. McConnell added, "We should confirm him. Doing so will represent another positive change in Washington that can give hope to families in Kentucky and across the nation who are still recovering from the last 8 years." Within days of Mr. Pruitt's swearing in, Mr. Trump is expected to sign one or more executive orders aimed at undoing Mr. Obama's climate change policies. People familiar at the White House plans said. While it will be impossible to undo the rules immediately, the president's signatures would give Mr. Pruitt his marching orders to commence the 1 to 2 year legal process of withdrawing the Obama-era climate rules and replacing them with looser, more industry-friendly rules. It is also possible that under Mr. Pruitt, the Trump administration could pursue the bold legal strategy of challenging the underlying legal requirement that the federal government regulate planet-warming greenhouse gases in the first place. Already, Mr. Pruitt has begun work to reshape the environmental agency. Among the candidates, he has interviewed for top positions for several former senior staff members in the office of his fellow Oklahoma Republican Senator James M. Inhofe, who has become known as Congress's most prominent denier of the science of global warming. So what do I think about this article? Well, basically, I do think it's kind of interesting how, Trump did put the guy that basically wants to get rid of the EPA to be in charge of the EPA. I actually agree with the idea because I don't really believe that we need to work on the environment that much. I think we need to focus on getting our debt fixed and focus on, getting our jobs back and that kind of stuff. I do know that, wind and solar power and hydropower and all that kind of stuff is a good idea. We should implement both at the same time, but we shouldn't have too much strict regulations on the stuff we've already been using, like coal, oil, that kind of stuff. We should have less regulations on those. But we should also do, wind, solar, hydropower, that kind of stuff. So I'll have to see what happens. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys in my next video.